Hello. Well, yesterday my attempts at doing live streams got really messed up, but um yeah, I'm leaving all the bloopers in because I am trying to be authentic here. So it is what it is. Um Welcome to my channel. I've been not streaming a whole lot lately, but I've been getting quite a lot of things done around the house, in and out. So that feels great. One of my favorite things to do this time of year is dividing up plants that kind of grow in clumping forms from rhizomes, and they grow really compacted together. And then those plants like to get thinned out. And so um, it's not always the ideal time to do that right now, but seems that I always end up doing it this time of year, because I'm making room for new things. So I found that to be a fun activity to do to start my planting season. Is I divide plants up and I give a lot away. So this week I'm going to be transplanting some stuff over to my sister's yard, and that's really nice. I also planted some different beans from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. I've got a Japanese winged bean variety that's from the island of Okinawa, and also a Chinese, I think it's probably, if they call it a bean, it's called a snake bean, but the seeds look more like a gourd. And so I think it's actually uh, not technically a bean. But I am gonna be challenging myself to learn more of the true botanical names, because that's how you avoid the confusion. Um, and great, I have somebody watching. That's awesome. Um, so yeah, I'm just really excited that I've been able to get this whole thing rolling despite a lot of my reservations. I think I've been learning a lot about just how YouTube works, and that you really have to work the algorithm, and I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not gonna be getting any advertisers anytime soon, but I am gonna start promoting myself more, and, one thing I'm gonna be doing is, uh, booting up our Etsy shop and getting that rolling. My husband Zev has been doing a lot more of his artwork, and we have his whole collection of old stuff that we've just kept in the vault. And I'm going to start challenging myself to uh, letting that stuff go. And while shipping internationally may be a challenge, I think at least in the US, I'm going to try and uh, do our little shop and see if we can sell some art, and that will definitely help our family. Um, I've been trying to tackle a lot of the chores around the house that I've just straight up ignored for a long, long time. So it feels good that I've been tackling some of those things um, recently. And yeah, I'm just super, super happy with how everything's going lately. It's like there's a million different things that I could be talking about, right? There's so many things going on. And while I try and stay aware of things, I'm really trying to challenge myself not to get too freaked out. And if I find myself getting kind of mad and upset, I just try and turn it off and go out in the garden. And that's been really helpful. Um, so yeah, I just think that this whole process has been really interesting. And um, one of the things I wanted to talk about last night uh, was my high school reunion coming up. And, I'm just really not that interested. I mean, I wish the best for anyone that I've ever known, truly. But I am not really in a place that I feel like I want to be around a bunch of people. Um, it's been really nice getting to recluse a little bit and focus on the people in my life that, you know, it's it's hard because I did want to reconnect with someone that I went to high school with. She came to town, and it was strange because the day that we were supposed to get together was like everything was working against that. So maybe we're just supposed to meet up another time. I don't know. Um, so it's not to say there's not individuals that I would love to reconnect with, but I just think maybe on a one-on-one basis or in small groups is better for me right now. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. And my couple friends that I still do stay in touch with, uh, they offered to buy me my ticket to the reunion. And I thought that was so sweet. But yeah, I don't know that it's really about um, that I'm feeling sad or that, I don't really want to spend the money on that. It's it's not that exactly. It's just I don't know that I can deal with being a bunch of being around a bunch of people. And maybe I would enjoy it, but for some reason just I'm feeling a ton of anxiety about it. And I've been um remembering things about high school just in general, and I'm having sort of a hard time with all of that. But anyway, I don't know that I can articulate any of this very well right now. But in other news, I've been watching a lot of Professor Hamamoto's old content from the last year or so, and I've mentioned this before. I don't think that very many people are on the level to where they would enjoy the things that I would. Um, but I have a very eclectic interest, and lately the things that I've been watching is like construction videos, which is so funny, but it's because there's a lot of projects around the house that I want to do, and I don't necessarily want to do them myself, but I want to know what, what it takes to get stuff done. And I think that will help me to find the right people to hire for the job when I'm ready to finally do these projects. So I've been geeking out with a lot of like, yeah, concrete construction videos and all kinds of weird stuff. So yeah, I have a pretty broad mix of interests, and so I don't know. I might be hard to follow a lot of the times, but whatever. That's why I'm trying to keep a record of all this. Because uh yeah, I want to be able to look back and remember what I was interested in and when. So right now it's the summertime, it's planting, it's planning. Um I had posted a previous title called Noodling and Doodling because one night a few weeks ago I'd been drawing some plans, uh doodling, and my friend texted me and he said he was noodling on his guitar. So, yeah, I think it's important that we just screw around, play around, make mistakes, and it's a really interesting time right now because people are so like we're so hard on each other, we're so hard on ourselves. And I feel like, yeah, we need to recreate the space for, I'm not sure how to say this. Like, it's the mistakes that help us along, help us actually figure out the correct solutions to problems. So, unfortunately, some of these mistakes that people make are deadly, right? And us human, our stupid human tricks, um, we can really do great harm to ourselves. We can do great harm to others. And, I'm not saying maybe that we should always play it safe, but I think it's interesting that there are times in our lives when we're just so reckless that you don't really even recognize how much risk you were putting yourself in, how much risk you were putting others in. So that might be a source of regret. Um, but if you're fortunate enough not to have, done so much harm that you could look back at it and take a lesson from a mistake. I just think we've got to look at history that way. We've got to look at the people that we have the biggest problems with. Um, we still need to see the humanity in them, and then we can forgive ourselves for our greatest mistakes as well, and then perhaps we can move forward and make the changes that actually uh, will benefit the most, um, and not at the cost of sacrificing a few for the majority. And I think that's the dance right now is, people are fearful that the decisions of the minority are affecting everyone. So I'm just doing my best to take a look at the biggest picture I can possibly comprehend. Um, and it's impossible because I have a fractured mind, maybe. But I'm working on it. I'm trying it out. And so the whole process feels really good. Um, Another thing I was trying to mention is that I was looking up the Gospel of Thomas. And the Gospel of Thomas doesn't actually exist in the Bible. But what the Bible does say about it is that Thomas was a doubter. And so I just thought that was great, because I feel like I'm a doubter at times. And I don't think I'm going to find the reference, unfortunately. I lost my bookmark. But anyway, the point is I had remembered from Bible school years ago that Thomas was a disciple of Jesus, but um, then I found out that the Gospel of Thomas is called one of the Gnostic texts. So I'm gonna have to do some more homework on that, but that's one of the things that I'm trying to study because I don't want to call myself like a spiritual person without a religion. Um, I do often think of myself as someone who's, learning to walk with the spirit. And what I've discovered through studying everything that I possibly can is that, yeah, I do feel what others have called, the spirit of God. I felt that. And I felt that in just still being able to be amazed, still being able to have awe, um, especially when I notice little things in the garden, out in nature. And frankly, I'm not somebody that goes, I live in a very beautiful area with lots of outdoor recreation opportunities. I do not take advantage of them as much as I'd like to think that that should be part of my personality, or that I should get out and enjoy that more. Um, I just don't do it. I've not been compelled to do it. I think there's some underlying things that have made me wary of that, that I haven't been able to dig into psychologically yet. But I do enjoy sitting under my trees, and I do enjoy digging my feet and my hands into the dirt. So I do connect with nature in my private space, and so that awe, I feel it. I do feel that, and I do believe that, yeah, God, incomprehensible concept. So perhaps we've invented language to just help us explore these feelings further. So I'm on that path of exploration, and it feels really good. And it feels really good to have a forum to express it, and not not feel too afraid to let it out, to get it out there. So I've really benefited from this process. It's been really sloppy, but that's okay. That's kind of my brand. I make messes. I make huge, huge messes, and sometimes I figure out how to clean them up, and sometimes I need to go back and redo the project all over again. But um, I'm just gonna keep on trying. And thank you so much for being a part of this. That will be my phrase for life. I just feel very fortunate to be where I'm at and to have the people in my life that I do. So, yeah, I don't know. I told my girlfriends I'd think about it if I go to the reunion, but I don't know. I don't think that I really need to do that right now. But I do want to look into how I can support my community more. I know the Murray City Pantry has great need right now. Um, the homelessness situation in Greater Salt Lake City is it's just tragic, and so I want to figure out how I can be more proactive, and um, not just protecting myself and my family, but I've always wanted to look out for others. So how am I going to set myself up to not only be able to carry myself and my own weight, and be able to be supportive of my family, my immediate family, my extended family, but then, yeah, how am I going to be supportive of my community? Um, so I'm really excited to be finding purpose, to be feeling, uh, well, I feel strong. Uh, so I don't feel scared. I just feel like I need to preserve a bit of me. Um, and yeah, saying no, that helps. And I have been really good about not drinking too much, and not drinking very frequently. And I think that might be the hitch, actually, is I may be tempted to go and drink at the open bar and actually have a good time. But then, yeah, just I'm nervous about doing that. Maybe I know all too well that that's what I would likely end up doing. So, maybe I'm trying to avoid that. But yeah, um, I did a really quick video last night to tell you about a film called, it's a short film called The Atomic Spawn. My friends in Utah produced it. It's an amazing short film. So, uh, if you would, please go back to the video I posted last night. That's really short. There'll be a link to Atomic Spawn in the description for that video. And yeah, I think that was a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. There's always more. Um, but yeah, I don't want to just be like commenting my opinion on the news of the day, but I do want to be sort of touching on what's going on. So I'm going to continue to do these, hopefully at least once a week, and maybe more, because I found that I got into a really good flow when I was doing these more regularly. At least I felt that way. So maybe I do need to go back to trying to do some short updates every day. Um, Maybe that will be helpful. But I definitely want to present some actual, content. I just feel so overwhelmed with, like, there's a million topics I'd love to talk about. And so maybe I need to do it more in the style of Thomas Sheridan, where I just pop on and say say whatever whenever I need to say it. But I also like the Professor Hamamoto's model of just going Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour at the same time of day, 2 days a week. That might be a really good format to do. So I'm still trying to figure this out, but yeah, I have a lot of books that I'm trying to read. I found a cool old book that I'm going to be reading. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. It's a secret. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about some more random crap another time. Take care.